What's up, everybody? So, I want to talk about how to heal from a trauma bond or a toxic relationship. So, I've made videos like this. I've made several videos like this before. They're down below on my content or on my YouTube. Um, but I like to basically make this specific video and others like it every now and then, like, because I feel that, like, as I accumulate knowledge, even though I've gained already a lot of knowledge over the years, I feel that as I have this knowledge and just add to it, I may have a better perspective, you know what I'm saying? And you know, people don't like to get the scrolling all the way down, so I basically just recycle some topics and hit it with a different perspective every now and then, right? So, if this is your first time here, my name is Dontre. I'm a toxic relationship and toxic life survivor. I've been through a 5-year plus toxic relationship with somebody that was diagnosed with BPD, that's borderline personality disorder. Um, I lived a very traumatic life. I also have a mood disorder and I got mental health disorders. So I got CPTSD, anxiety, depression, and substance use disorder. So I make videos for people like me that are basically trying to better themselves, better their situation. This is basically just to encourage you to get professional help, whether that's from a uh, counselor, psychiatrist, not your family, not your friends, not a random person, because they're not as knowledgeable when it comes to trauma. You know what I'm saying? They don't do as much research, you know what I mean? So you don't want to listen to those types of people. So basically, I want to talk about this trauma bond and toxic relationship stuff, right? So if you are watching this video, it's probably because you have been in a toxic relationship, or you are in one, or you maybe have some type of mental health issue going on, or maybe you've lived a hard life. I don't know. But regardless, welcome. And I want to talk about a trauma bond. A trauma bond is basically a psychological addiction that you develop when you are dating somebody, typically somebody that is somebody that has a lot of trauma, you know what I mean? And then you have, like, it's like two people that have trauma, they get together and they bond off of their traumas, and then they basically re-traumatize each other in the relationship, right? It's basically what a trauma bond is. So and it is a psychological addiction, just like a drug, by the way. So I want y'all to really understand that it is really like a drug. So, because it behaves just like a drug. When you break up and when you detach, you go through physical withdrawals. You can't eat, you can't sleep, you rolling around, all that. You know what I mean? So, um, how do you get out of these? That's the $1 million question, right? You in a toxic relationship when you know that you need to leave, but you can't. Yeah, I mean, like, man, I gotta get out of this relationship, but I just can't. It's so hard for me. That's a trauma bond, which is a lot more common than you would think. A lot more common than people are gonna admit. You know what I'm saying? So I know you dying to know how to get out of these. So I'm gonna tell you how to get out of these. The first thing you gotta do is you gotta get out of them. Yeah, you gotta get out of them. I know it's not that simple. Some people got kids, some people got families, they got things tied up. But you're gonna have to get out of it for your family, for yourself, for the best interest of you. So I don't know your situation specifically, you know what I mean? I do have a longer videos like on my YouTube and stuff like that, but basically what you're gonna want to do is whether you need to save up money or whatever it is, stay with a family member, get your own spot, get a job, save up some money, get your own place, and mind you, if you're gonna go that's the route you're gonna have to go. So do that on the quiet. Be quiet about that. Don't Obviously you're not gonna tell your partner that you're doing this until you're up and gone. So this is going to be a process more than likely for most people, because when you're usually in a relationship with somebody, if it's a serious one, you are living with them and shit like that. It ain't just, you know what I mean? Like, you end up living with these people. So it's going to be a process more than likely. You're going to have to save up money. You know what I mean? You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to do all that. You're going to have to make sure that you can get out of there safely. And whether that's getting a new bank account or whatever. When you get to that stage, when you finally do that, you're going to have to go no contact, or something called gray rocking, which is where you don't really contact. When you do communicate, it's very low emotional communication. You don't communicate anything emotionally. If y'all got kids, that's called gray rocking. But if y'all don't got kids, it's fully no contact. So that means blocking everything: email, social media, Facebook, Snap, every single thing. Emails, phones, all them fake numbers. You might have to get a new number. I know how these people play. I know they'll call you on random fake numbers. Get a new number. I had to do it. So you're gonna have to go no contact. And once you do that, never contact them again. Yes, I repeat, never contact them again. Your life is important, okay? Your life is important. You don't want to jeopardize your life dealing with somebody who's going to be inconsistent or whatever. Obviously, we're talking about somebody who is an untreated toxic individual, whether they have a personality disorder or whatever, whether they have one or not. This is people that are toxic and exhibiting consistent toxic behaviors. Do I really need to call out what toxic behaviors are? Yelling, fighting, hitting, cheating, manipulating, gaslighting, all of that stuff. You know what I mean? I really don't need to you know what toxic is. If it's hurting you, if you're feeling nervous or uncomfortable the majority of the time in your relationship, it's not a good one, right? So it's not a healthy one at that point. If you're fighting constantly all the time, it's not a healthy one. You know what I mean? So yeah, so let's kind of go over this a little bit. So you gotta analyze your relationship. How is it? Is it most of the time bad, most of the time good? You're gonna know the answer to that, right? Based off of how you feel consistently around that person. Do you feel nervous, uncomfortable, upset, angry, emotionally disturbed? Then that's your answer, right? If that's how you feel consistently. So you assess the relationship. Then you plan your exit, right? Then you start doing what you need to do for the exit. You save your money, get your ducks in a row, get all your shit in a row. Then you execute, you make the move. Then you fully diminish or cease contact fully. Please do not skip this step. I'm telling you, you will be hurt if you don't skip, if you're not listening to that step. All right. After that, you begin the healing process professionally, not with your family, not with your friends, not with random ass people that don't understand trauma. You get it done professionally. Get yourself in a circle of people that are actually healing. Go to an actual psychiatrist and get yourself diagnosed. That way you know what you're dealing with and what you have going on in your brain. Then you go to therapy and you take your therapy. If you need medicine and you believe in that, you can take medicine. Now you begin the healing journey on your life. Next thing you know, you look up and you're ready for a healthy relationship. Hey, thank me later, man. If you got something from this video, drop a like, drop a comment, and hit me up in the DM thanking me, all right? I just taught you how to do a good amount of things in a 10-minute video. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.